All right, everyone, welcome back. We're gonna be continuing A Song is Sung. It is a Game of Thrones adventure tabletop RPG. We are using Roll20. Let me go ahead and change over to our live screen. Just as I realized, I also did not mute myself in Discord, so they all heard that too.
And for those of you who were not here last week, which I believe the only person currently was, Chet, go ahead and introduce your character.
I'm playing Sir Harold Connick. He is a hardy man of 26 years, black hair, blue eyes, keeps a full kempt beard. He's a little shy of 6 foot in height with a strong toned body. He is typically astride his destrier when out in the field, and when not practicing in the yard or tending to his horse, he can be found reading books in the library. He spent his formative years as a squire to the Lord of House Peake, Sir Marcus Peake. And at the Battle of the Trident, uh, he saved Sir Peake's son, his firstborn son, from a Dornishman's attack,
Yep.
earning him later in life his lands and title under Lord Peake.
Yep. All right. And anybody else want to give a brief reintroduction to their character while we're at it? Starting with Anthor, I guess.
I play Anthor. He's about 5'6". He is blonde hair, blue eyed. He really is outgoing and very opinionated about things, especially not doing things the right way or abusing authority.
Yes, we saw that very much last episode. Right.
Picking up some feedback
to keep us
someone.
from getting into political trouble or limit the political trouble we're in.
Yeah. All right, Finnan.
Yeah, for those who were here last week, Finnan is, in a sense, a sellsword, or better way of putting it, even a reformed bandit that works for the house. He is not of the Seven Kingdoms, having the blood of the wildlings and being from north of the wall before traveling south. Stands around 5'11", roughly 26 years of age, and fought alongside Sir Harold at the Battle of the Trident, where he lost most of the men that he fought with. And also earned himself a nemesis that he does not know the name of or who it is.
Ooh, I keep forgetting about that. All right. And Thomas, you want to reintroduce your character again?
Sure. My character is the second-born son of House Peake, the one who has the ambition of putting effort in and wanting to inherit something
Now you pick up the garbage.
Anthor, you got feedback.
from the house.
I said you had feedback.
Oh, sorry. Something
good.
fell over.
You're good. All right, go ahead, Thomas.
So as I was saying, by studying hard and attempting to portray Gregarious' personality and appear very friendly to everybody he meets, so he is more well regarded, and just wants to try to be enough to inherit and be able to own something of the house, part of it, and prove himself and all that.
Yep. And as we said last week, I am your storyteller, GM, whatever you want to call me. Too many years of experience as running games, more so than ever actually getting into play. Yeah, I think that's what this system refers to it as, but everybody usually just calls you a GM or a DM, so most systems keep it fairly simple. Not really a lot to say on me, other than I provide the entertainment that you all get to choose from. But as we've recapped, have we recapped live or no?
did.
We haven't done like a recap of what happened last week live yet.
Okay.
If someone wants to go ahead and do that.
All right. So last week you all started out in King's Landing, where you spent a couple of days getting to explore the city. Went up to the Dragon's Keep, the Dragon Pit, where Anthor hunted around trying to find a living dragon. Didn't find any living dragons. Then you all proceeded back on your way home with the armor and stuff that you had picked up for the Lord, only to be swept up in an evening's event at the Crossroads Inn, where you briefly met Tyrion and a brother of the Night's Watch, and then while pursuing conversation with them, you were swept up in Catelyn Stark's arrival and then arrest of Tyrion Lannister with the assistance of the bannermen of the Riverlands and the Eyrie, as well as her own man, Sir Roderick Cassell, who is the Master of Arms at Winterfell. From there, you all proceeded back through the, I forget what they call the road to the Vale off the top of my head, but I know you all took that route. And just before you got toward the Moon Gate, you stopped briefly in the lands of House Peake to drop off what you were taking on. You also picked up everybody else at that point. This is when you would have also joined them, Sir Harold, but you weren't here last week, so you were kind of floating along in the background. They also picked up Viserys at this time, and they picked up Siege's character, as well as the Firstborn. Yep. You all got attacked by the bandits after that, I believe. Because shortly after that, you were attacked by the bandits. Tyrion somehow ended up out of his bonds and managed to...
Maybe the person who arrested him.
Yeah, he got out of his bonds and managed to save Catelyn Stark by smashing in the face of a man with a shield. From there, you crossed through the Moon Gate and on into the Eyrie. You were there for about, 4 days, and then Tyrion had his trial. In the meantime, while you all were awaiting the trial, several of you spoke with Bronn, as well as Sir Royce. Some of you spoke with Catelyn Stark and Lysa Arryn, sometimes at the same time. You also had a brief interlude with Tyrion in his cell, where Lord Jackson Peake picked him up and held him out over the Vale, trying to get him to admit to his crimes or whatever was going on and get what information he could. From there, Finnan left him with a wineskin, and you all proceeded back up into the castle. The next day, the trial was held. In the meantime, before the trial, I know Anthor had a brief meeting with Catelyn Stark, where he convinced her that Tyrion was not the problem, but could potentially have information as to who was. Give me just a moment.
Also, probably pissed off a bunch of people. Lots and lots of people, and made us very not liked around here. And probably destroyed the trial somehow.
Following that, Anthor, you managed to essentially convince, like I said, Lady Catelyn Stark that Tyrion had nothing to do with it, which, again, if they had talked to Maester Luwin, and a few other different people would have been able to back that up, which we found out from Sir Roderick Cassell, that yes, he had actually spoken to Maester Luwin, but couldn't do anything with the information at the time. Lysa Arryn just kept firm in her beliefs that all Lannisters needed to pay for their crimes.
I have a question. Shouldn't then, I don't know, somebody on the camp of Catelyn I don't know, suspect something? I'm asking only for logic purposes.
I mean, if you go by everything in canon at this point, Catelyn Stark has already received the letter and shared it with her husband Ned about Lysa believing that the Lannisters poisoned her husband, and that Jon Arryn's death was not natural.
Makes sense he doesn't suspect she just thinks it's anger out of that, and
Mm-hmm.
even if the guy may be innocent for this crime he committed, yada yada yada. Makes sense.
Yep. And then the trial occurred, and it was basically Tyrion just admitting to all the stuff he's done wrong, which is basically betting winches and everything else under the sun, but never any kind of murder or plots of murder or anything like that. Lysa finally got aggravated and said, either tell us the truth or what have you, and then he demanded a trial by combat, named his brother Jaime as his champion, which immediately got refused because she told him, you're leaving this castle today, either through the moon door or through the front door. She named one of her knights as her champion, and then after about a 15-minute stint of waiting for a volunteer, Bronn finally volunteered to be Tyrion's champion. From there, it proceeded to Bronn managed to defeat the knight and threw him through the moon door. And then him and Tyrion left. And that's where we ended. So at this point, you all are still in the trial chambers, which is essentially the throne room of the Eyrie. You can tell that Lysa Arryn is not at all happy. Catelyn looks confused beyond all doubt. Most of the lords and ladies of the Vale immediately erupted into conversation. What is everybody else doing? Sir Harold, you would have been able to sit either with the two lords of House Peake, Thomas and his brother, or you could have been back in the back with Fanan and Bronn, or wherever you wanted to be in the room. There wasn't really set positions for knights or anything like that to sit. You were more or less free to do as you needed. Or at least sit where you pleased. Well, I have no unearthly idea what happened, but Discord just politely decided to drop on me.
And simply that I'll follow Roderick as well and all that.
Give me a moment. I gotta swap back over to my headset now that Discord's decided it has a brain again.
Oh, I thought he was just swapping his headset over, not.
No, I have
didn't
no.
realize he connected on his phone or something.
I have no idea what happened. 1 minute I'm talking, and the next minute I'm waiting on you all to tell me what you're doing, and I don't hear anything, and then Discord is just suddenly loading on the bloody computer.
I think Sahara, the lieutenant, said they would just follow Roderick's the firstborn son's lead, and I said that as well.
I mean, at that point, he's just still watching everything going on, so...
If he doesn't seem like he's taking any action, I'll step over to him and lean closer and whisper into his ear, my lord, I do believe we should make way back to the keep. I don't believe Lady Arryn has any further need of us, though she may call upon you as we try to depart.
Yeah, no. You can see several of the other lords and ladies starting to get up and walk about the room or head out into other parts of the Eyrie. No one seems to be stopping anybody. After a couple of seconds of fuming in silence, Lysa Arryn just gets up and walks out.
Okay, so now y'all prepare to leave because there is no reason for us to be here anymore.
Yeah, I just head towards the front, continue heading towards the main door, and I'll stop to make sure that I grab the maester as well. Come with.
Yep.
The maester and Lord and the other.
Mhm.
The brother to Lord Marcus.
But yeah, you
Lord
all would essentially make your way back out to the front gate of the Eyrie. They would provide you with mountain goats, and you would start the trek back down the mountain.
Back door home.
Yep. So
Say goodbye to everybody and then go.
you do see Tyrion and Bronn a good ways down the mountain ahead of you by this point.
Good try. We should try not to interfere with their movement since everything had happened and all that.
But yeah, you all will follow them at a good distance unless you want to be part of their party.
No,
better not.
if we catch up with them, we catch up with them.
Yeah.
If we pass them, we pass them, kind of deal. If we do catch up and pass them, I'll just like wave at Bronn.
Yeah, they don't seem to be in too much of a hurry, but you can tell that they're definitely making their way out of the Vale. They're leaving this place.
Mhm.
If we catch up and pass, I just give him Braun a quick wave because I'd like to think my guy Finnan believes he made an acquaintance or friend in Braun.
Yeah. But I mean, at their leisurely enough pace, depending on how fast you all were moving, once you get down to the bottom of the mountain and are able to pick up your horses and everything, you could potentially outride them within a brief span of time if they don't hightail it.
I don't think we have any reason to.
As we pass them, I will, Lord Tyrion, keep your eyes open. There's still many more mountain men out and about.
This way.
He thanks you for the advice. As does Braun, and then you all would proceed on. You can still see them for quite some time in the distance behind you if you were to look back, but by the time you all make camp, you can't even see them anymore. It's about a day's ride from the Eyrie, I believe, to the Moon Gate.
Roughly.
And then from there, it's about a 3-day ride to your all's location of residence. Not a lot happens along the way, and you arrive back home mostly intact, minus any damages you might have sustained during the battle with the mountain men during the trip there. But we didn't roleplay out the combat, so unless you all want to roleplay hurt, you're still unscathed.
But now that we are here, I think we should inform the house. I mean, not the house. I mean, the other people in the house that were not there, everything that happened.
Yeah, the Lord would ask for an update upon seeing you all arrive.
We should also tell him about her deteriorating mental state.
And that Tyrion was found innocent only by trial by combat. And also
What were you going to say, Anthor?
And that this is probably going to cause more problems than we realize. Because it seems like she's going a little bit of power crazy.
Either that or she really is not going to honor this and probably going to try to chase Tyrion again. What it felt like to me, at least.
I'll just, when I see the Lord, just give him a quick bow of the head. And just be like, Lord Marcus, we were caught up with the call of banners by Lady Catelyn Stark to assist moving this dwarf by the name of Tyrion Lannister to the Eyrie for his trial. While there, this ward is going to need some more schooling on when to watch his tongue. Apparently, he was speaking of helping set the man free. And your two sons had to kind of play damage control. But the dwarf was eventually found innocent after being trial by combat, where a sellsword saved him.
Sounds like quite the interesting entourage.
Certainly was an interesting few days.
And then once Finnan says that, he just bows his head again and this leaves. Because he presumes he's not too welcomed in the Lord's presence when he has to start yelling at other noble birthed people.
He doesn't seem ready to take Anthor to the side, but you can definitely tell he gave him a look.
Uh-oh. Time for me to hide.
I mean, if you say that out loud, he's going to tell you, we'll chat later.
No, that's what he's thinking. He's like, uh-oh, I may have bitten off more than I can chew. Oof.
Well,
Could I take him to the yard for some practice, my lord?
Oh.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Come with me, Anthony.
The consequences of one's own action.
He's gonna walk very slowly. Just
Taking him out behind the woodshed, huh?
oh god.
Whoa, he's not getting old Yellard.
Oh god, no.
I can see it now. Go choose your switch.
Just several hours of forms.
Not to killing.
Several hours of forms, huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Alright, so the Lord, once you give him your rendition of everything that happened, will excuse you all for whatever you wish to go do. I forget exactly how big your little hamlet is. I know you have a blacksmith in the castle.
We have like a small town,
Yeah. So I'm
but
assuming.
it's mainly centered around a small castle. So
Right.
there's the keep, and then a good chunk of like outer buildings, and that's about it.
Yep. A couple of farm buildings, maybe a brothel if you're lucky.
Well, the big thing of the town is we do have a mine that leads into
Ah.
the mountain we're at the base of.
Okay.
Steen, you have a little bit of feedback once in a while.
Thomas. Obviously,
Yeah,
on
I'm getting a
your feed,
low
you're getting a lot
hum.
of feedback.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like TV static almost.
But what does everybody want to do while you're here? Because heaven only knows how long you'll be here.
Oh, Anthor is getting a lot of exercise.
Oh yeah, you're putting him through his paces,
Mm-hmm.
teaching him how to be a swordsman. I'm assuming.
Well, I think
More
that's
just
gonna
wearing him out since I can't lay hands on him.
It's like,
just try to help around the place, see if there's anything that needs doing in terms of managing or anything at all.
yeah, your father would tell you that he still needs somebody to oversee all the equipment that literally just got brought in that you all dropped a cart and left.
Fine with that. That sounds good.
So he put you to work cataloging everything into the castle armory.
That would be stewardship or no role needed.
I guess you could do a role of stewardship, but essentially you're just like describing the swords and armor that have arrived and marking them down in the ledgers.
I'm gonna spend the time needed just kind of getting a better lay of the land right around the keep again,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing it and just going for a minor hunt, kind of like looking for like a deer or something.
Okay. Yeah. What do I want you to roll me for that? I'm going to assume this is under survival.
Yeah, hunt or track.
Roll me a track to see if you can find anything, and then if you find anything, you'll roll me a hunt.
Okay. 15.
All right. So yeah, you managed to find some pheasants.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me your hunt.
18.
All right. So you managed to bag 8 pheasants.
Yeah, and I'll put them on the back of my. I'll just spend like my day doing that, and if it gets later out, I'll just camp outside of the keep if I'm not super close by to it, and kind of enjoy a little pheasant dinner by myself before heading back either the next morning or later that day and distributing the pheasants among the peasants and giving one to the castle cook.
You get back about dark.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give 6 of the 8 pheasants to just like random peasant families, and 1 to the castle cook, and then 1 for myself.
Okay. And what were you going to say, Harold?
In between correcting Anthor's stances and swings, I spend my time flirting with any of the staff that happen to walk by, any of the female staff that happen to walk by.
Okay, so you pull over a couple of kitchen younger cooks that manage to have a moment free when they're not scrubbing pots and pans. But yeah, so you all spend most of the day just hunting and doing a little bit of this and that, recorrecting Anthor, and logging in armor. After a good long day's work, you retire for dinner with the Lord and the family, unless you decide to return to your generalized location if it's not too far Harold, and then the next day the Lord calls you back into his chambers. Are you going to answer his summons, or?
Yep, I answer his summons.
Mm-hmm.
So you all arrive just as he's finished dressing for the day, and he basically tells you that even though you've just returned, he needs you to head out to Riverrun.
Why?
He's wanting to make a minor alliance with the Tullys.
Okay. Fair.
I gotta pull up some information here real quick. Where did I put the house information?
Under house information.
Yeah, I just gotta go read who's who.
Thank you, Chet, for giving me a quick recap if I missed anything.
He's wanting to potentially see if he can't form an alliance through marriage with his daughter Moira to Lord Hostertully's son. And wants you all to go and bring the missive.
Okay.
No, you didn't miss anything important. You all are getting ready to go to Riverrun if you didn't hear that, Jason.
Okay. Who are we transporting? Moria?
And
Missive.
you're
A
not
missive.
you're not transferring her yet. You're basically going to broach the idea with Lord Hostertully of Lady Moira Peake marrying his son.
Okay.
Yeah, the messengers, basically.
About how much time has passed since the start? How much have we traveled around? Because if it's been over a month, we need to roll another house fortune.
It's about I want to say it was about a 4-ish day journey to the crossroads. Then it took you about a weekish to get to the Eyrie, and then it would have been a week back. Well, less a day from the Eyrie to there, and then 4 days, give or take, to get home.
Okay, so 15 days, about half a month.
Mm-hmm.
It will take you roughly I want to say at least a month to get to Riverrun.
Okay, so is it good if we roll our house fortune now before we leave?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we don't have to work. Because if it's going to take a month to get there and a month to get back, we'll have 2 house fortunes by the time we get back, but we'll only roll 1 now.
Yep.
Let me pull up the book. Obsidian, you're getting a lot of static feedback right now.
Yeah. Still.
Is your mic too close to something?
So, okay, so we get the option. We can either roll a house fortune or we can choose to increase any resource we have by 1, but I say we just do the house fortune to see what happens. Obsidian,
Yeah.
fuck ton of feedback.
Yep.
So we can take a house action as well. Trying to remember who rolls the house fortune.
Probably the guy with the highest rank.
Bonus.
So that would probably
It is
either
the
be
person with the highest. It's supposed to be the steward or acting steward rolls a status bonus dice from stewardship. So whoever has the highest stewardship rolls it.
Not me.
So whoever
Me,
the
I
steward of the
guess.
house is.
Me, I guess.
Yep, and then you just roll a stewardship.
Yep.
8. The house goes under growth.
Nice.
Nice.
So scrolling all the way back up here to remember what growth is.
One more roll.
I'm trying to figure out where growth is. My bad.
You're good.
Oh, so plus any modifiers from the holdings, which we have. I think we have a few bonuses to house fortune, if I remember correctly.
That I don't remember off the top of my head, but it sounds right. Yeah.
Oh, our law is -2 the house fortunes, so we go from 8 to a 6.
But I think we get a bonus for one of the features that we have.
I think it's the mind gives us a bonus. I'll double
I
check.
believe
real
so,
quick.
Mine
yes.
gives us +5 to the house fortunes roll.
Yep.
Okay, so we go up by 3. Net total of +3.
Nice.
So 1, 2, 3. We're still at growth, so that means the narrator decides what happens. Or
So,
it would just be a bet. It would be a net positive of the house if something gets better or worse.
yeah. So essentially, when you all return, we'll handle that. Because it'll
Yep.
also depend on how things go while you're at the Tullys.
As
Yep,
far
and
as
then-
the house actions that we can take, we can either manage resources, which is swapping points from one to another. It's not always at a 1-for-1 basis. Sometimes it's a 2 points to get a 1 reward.
Mm-hmm.
We
The house
could
could host
begin
a tournament.
projects. Yeah, we could begin a project, which we don't have any projects to do anything with right now. We could wage wars, but we're not seeking to do that at the moment, as far as I'm aware of. Or we
Mhm.
could host a tournament.
The Lord would probably be more likely to host a tournament, but only if his daughter's getting married.
Right. That's
Yeah, so
my
it'd be
thought
like
as well.
when we get back, if the Tullys agreed, then it'd probably be host a tournament.
So you all are provided the horses, of course. If you want a wagon, he'll give you a wagon, but I don't foresee that you would need one.
I mean, I have a wagon, so
Okay, so you have a wagon. But yeah, y'all leave the next day. So unless there's anything you want to handle still within the Cape, you'll wake up the next morning, have breakfast, and make your way out. You'll stop briefly at the crossroads and then take the road to Riverrun. Not a lot happens on your journey, other than you see a lot of land go by.
Yeah, I will definitely spend a good
You mean we
portions
see a
of the
lot of
day.
lamps?
I'll spend portions of the day ahead of the party, just acting as scout. In a
Yeah.
sense.
So go ahead and roll me your scout for that.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm going to assume that it'll fall under something.
It would probably be like either we could do a notice or like orientation or track. So notice would be awareness, survival would be like orientation or track to make sure we're still going the right way.
So go ahead and roll me the notice to see if you see anything out of the ordinary.
6.
Nope, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Then go ahead and roll me your orientation just to make sure you're keeping everybody on the right path.
20.
Yeah, you find the safest, quickest way there. And cut down your month journey by a week.
Okay.
When you all arrive, of course, you announce to the steward that you're there to discuss a marriage contract with the Lord, I'm assuming.
Yes, I'd assume. I don't know. It's not really found spot. That'd be someone else's.
We bring a letter from Lord Marcus Peake for Lord Hoster Tully.
Yeah, we have a missive. You said we have a missive.
Yeah, you have a letter essentially that explains everything, and you all were informed on what's going on. You weren't informed of all the contents, but the main
A negotiation falls between both lords in that case.
Yep. In which case, you all are the speaking voice of the Lord, so take that as you will. Give me just 1 second, I'm getting a phone call.
It would really then start to fall down to
how can we sweeten the bill?
not even really that, because it will be between the two lords. It'd be between like if I don't know if we had the castellan or steward with us would definitely be the one speaking on behalf of the lord more than one of us because like my dude's just a master of a hunt and a peasant. He wouldn't have that like authority. The lord wouldn't trust someone like that with authority versus they would trust their castellan who's like their right hand man.
Yeah, but sweeten the deal, I mean like smoothing out issues.
Oh that's
Well,
kind of what
it's,
we're here for.
it's just a matter of Lord Peake would have said what he's willing to offer as a dowry, and if that's accepted by Lord Tully, then we would go back with the good news. If it's not, Lord Tully would have his counter, and we'd go back with the counter.
We're pretty much playing messenger right now.
Yeah. Finnan's job is to get us there in as safe and quick a way as possible, My job is to make sure it stays safe.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It just falls down to that.
Jobs, things, amicable.
Amicable.
I will say though, while we're waiting, if we do get higher, like power, I would think about instead of us maybe building a new unit, I'd think about us maybe upgrading one of our units' training.
We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. I gotta step out for a moment.
But like that's what my voice is on that with this growth. If our power goes up, possibly look at maybe starting like instead of building a new unit, turn one of our green units into a trained or even a veteran into an elite. Because right now our house is already very likely to be courted, but like 2 elites makes us a threat to people against us, but even more of a powerful ally for those with us.
Well, what do we need for a banner house? 20, right?
I'll tell you right now. Actually, I'll just scroll up to holdings. I'm in the book right now. Except for a banner house.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20. We need 20 for a banner house.
And how many did we have floating?
I will tell you right now. I just gotta do the math again, real quick.
Yeah, because it's an odd number. It's 27 power is what we have.
Yeah, so 27. Calculator, grab the book. Calculator. 27. We had a elite garrison, so 7 plus garrison, which is 2. So minus 9. We had a veteran cavalry, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm back.
5 plus
Green archers and green support.
Yep.
So 5 plus 10. So 1 plus. We have 1 floating currently.
Yep.
So if our power goes up by 1, we couldn't turn
could
anything
increase-
green to trained, but we could increase veteran to elite.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So that's if our power goes up.
Yep. Sounds like quite the fun experience.
Welcome back early. I thought you were going to take the whole 5 minutes.
No, I didn't think it would take the whole 5 minutes. I just said 5 minutes that way. If
Just
it
in
took
case.
That, yeah. I'll be back.
All right. He just said he'd be back. So when you get the chance, you should add
I have no
the
idea.
cost to
I'm
the.
going to probably
okay.
do that like right now. I'm just
Yeah. Because I can read the link that you got there, but I can't edit it.
Yeah, I got you. I'm
So-
just currently I'm updating the House Peak to where it has the like shield on as its icon, so that we can drop that on the map in case it's like the party moving. We're just using
Gotcha.
the shield of House Peak as our
Yeah.
token. Which there we go. And people who are watching can see, and we're at Riverrun, so right there. All right, let me go through and edit those costs. It was 9, 10. I think eventually getting a banner house would be a really good idea, but
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. The steward takes the message and then proceeds to deliver it to Lord Hoster. You all are shown into the kitchen, where you're provided a light lunch to await either being taken in to see the Lord or an answer.
Okay.
The cook tells you might get an answer in the next hour, because it's a fairly busy day.
okay, so we could be waiting a while, or we could just be set almost immediate.
Yep.
Hmm.
You do have the run of about 15 guards who are in there also eating lunch. None of them are dressed for their shift, so you can assume they're probably off for the day or worked a earlier or later shift.
I will
You know-
socialize with the guards.
We could always socialize and see if there's anything we can help to make everything run a little faster. Some goodwill never hurt,
Yeah,
especially in alliances.
Yeah. Edmure Tully is in the castle, but you haven't seen him yet.
Okay.
So we should introduce ourselves to the others, nobility around, I think. At least I will.
Right now you're just in the kitchen, so the only thing you would see at the moment would be the cook, a couple of
Yes, we'll just wait then.
kitchen servants, and then like 15 guards that are off at a table to the
Hey,
side eating.
you just wait, say hi to them, and then just wait.
For those of you that are talking amongst the guards, they don't have a lot to share in terms of like world knowledge. They can tell you plenty of things going on around the castle, or at least in the vicinity of Riverrun. If there was anything in particular that you're looking for.
Problems? Things we could help that would maybe help our case for alliance? Did you not understand me?
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just thinking. Roll me a...
Persuasion?
I guess it would be bargain, because that's the only thing that really ever works in this particular instance.
Say bargain?
Yeah.
Mhm. You want me to roll it?
Whoever's...
I got it! 19!
I'll let him have his moment.
Alright, so yeah, you learn that word of what happened at the crossroads has already made it this far.
The bandit part?
Huh?
The bandit part.
No, I mean the part where she called the banners and had him arrested.
Oh, right.
And like I said, you learn that word has already traveled at least to Riverrun, which is quite a way. It's about 3 to 4 weeks trip just from the crossroads to there. So mostly everything seems fairly pliant, or at least complacent here within the castle. There's not a lot going on. There are rumors that Lord Hoster is ill, but there's no main concern of his health at this time. But for the most part, everything seems moderately peaceful. I don't remember the Riverlands being too badly plagued by bandits. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I checked in on their history fully, but I know they were one of the more less crazy group.
Hello, Lord Jackson P.
Hello, Siege. I did not hear you come in. How are you today?
His mic is muted.
I saw that. Alright, so after about 45 minutes to an hour, the steward comes down into the kitchens to find you if you haven't left there. But that's all the information you really would have been able to find out at this point. There doesn't seem to be like there's anything needed to be done, but that don't mean anything either. When the steward comes in, he tells you that you are to follow him. Lord Hoster will speak with you in just a few minutes. He's going to take you to where you're going to be waiting.
I'll turn towards the men that I was chatting with, and good evening to you, gentlemen. And I'll drain the rest of my wine and put the glass down and follow the steward.
The steward...
Just
Good.
fall behind Harold.
Yep.
Just following along.
Yep. So you all are taken into a sitting room. And then there's a couple of servants in there that you can tell were in the midst of cleaning, but now that you all are there, they're at your beck and call until the Lord arrives, essentially. And the steward leaves you, telling you to be about 15 minutes before the Lord arrives.
I flirt with the most attractive female in the room.
You have the greatest fucking flaw of all, or drawback, don't you?
Yeah.
Gotta be a flirt. Gotta be a horn dog.
Alright, so you just flirted up with the one who was literally scraping out the fireplace like 5 minutes before you all walked in. Luckily, her hands and everything are clean. You can't really tell what she was doing, but yeah, that's what she was doing before you started flirting her.
But my lady, you taste of ashes.
Rather sooty.
Are you kidding me? She smells wonderful. She smells of charred rosewood on a hot summer's eve.
There you go.
Is that good?
That I'm not sure. I've never smelt rosewood burning, so I couldn't tell you.
I smell trees burning.
Doesn't matter if it smells
it
good as
doesn't
long as
smell
it
good.
sounds good.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll also flirt. Mhm.
I can see it now. I saw her first. Back off.
I'm just gonna sit there and
But
chuckle as I drink
not
from a
with-
wineskin.
Not with her, because she's being flirted with by one of the people in the from that work serves the house. So I'll flirt with another one that's
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, the other servant, so.
He's not a servant though, because I'm not gonna sully my reputation that way.
Well, that's the
With
only
this
people
ser-
that's the only people in the room besides the party at this point.
So there's no ladies
And
present.
no, you're in Riverrun.
I mean, there's Annette.
Yeah, there is.
She 100% draws her mace when he gives her a look.
Mhm.
All right.
I wouldn't flirt with Annette though, because she's part of the house.
Right.
Not because you're afraid that she'll whack you in the head with the mace, right?
No, because if she tried that, I'd just kill her.
Oh God, I just saw what you've named Annette.
I rolled randomly. I have no idea if that name has any meaning.
That's
Has a lot of meaning.
that's Littlefinger's last name.
Oh, I'm not changing it now. No, that's funny. Oh, that's gonna cause problems down the road, but I'm not changing it now. I literally rolled
mean-
random names, and that's the name it gave me, so I stuck with it.
I mean, it may not cause problems considering if she's related to Littlefinger. We're probably going to have influence with Littlefinger through her.
She'd be one of his mini cousins. There you go. But after about 15 minutes of waiting, Lord Hostertale and Lord Edmure Tale both walk into the room. Hoster.
I'll straighten myself mid-sentence when I'm talking with the girl and turn and bow my head slightly. Lords.
Welcome to Riverrun. I must say that I was not expecting letters from Lord Peake quite so early in his housedom. I am well aware of his rise from the rebellion.
Well, he is sworn to House Aaron, and House Aaron and House Tully have a long-standing history together. It's not an unreasonable expectation to have the letter, although I can see your point on the swiftness of such.
Yes. As far as a marriage proposal goes, I do not see that there would be an issue. However, I would like for us all to meet and discuss things further. I know my son has quite vocally made it clear he wants to meet his bride before he should marry.
If your son wishes to travel, I mean, we do plan on heading back.
A perfectly reasonable request.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all
And we
intents,
would be much honored to escort Lord Edmure back to
Black
Black
Hollow
Hollow.
Peaks.
as far as that goes, you would be escorting both Hoster and Edmure, because Hoster very much intends to come and meet Lord Peake before agreeing to anything as well. Mainly for his
I'm
own
sure
sanity and to shut up his son.
Then you do
I'm sure my brother would welcome you into the.
Yep.
And show you, and he'll probably even show you what he's done into the peaks of Black Hollow Peaks.
Yes. They tell you that it's going to be about 3 weeks before they're going to be able to travel, as Lord Hoster would tell you he's currently experiencing a cold, and that he feels it would be best to wait for this to pass, but in 3 weeks he would be more than happy to start the journey.
Okay. Based off that, we'd have to do another House Fortune, correct?
Give or take.
Would you
yes.
wish us to stay to escort you or return immediately to let our lord know of your intentions?
He would tell you more than likely it's best to go ahead and at least send someone ahead, whether all of you stay. That way your lord does know that to be expecting company and can get everything arranged that would be necessary, but that you all are more than welcome to stay if you wish. He doesn't have anywhere that he can put you up in Riverrun, but there is a fairly decent inn in the town outside of Riverrun Castle that you could potentially get rooms at, which he would be willing to help front the cost. Because you would be essentially staying to serve as his forward guard.
I'll turn to Lord Jackson and Lord Thomas. Whatever you wish me to do, my lords, I can stay here and continue to provide what little protection seems necessary at this time, where I can make my way back, although I would ask that Finnan help guide me on that journey.
That is too easy. I already expected that my ass would be sent away. Of course, if we do travel, we can travel back with the cavalry to protect along the way.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't send the ward out on his own. He might decide to go take a very long trip down to Old Town way.
Yeah, we're not gonna let him go alone.
Considering he's from the Reach. I can see it now. Bye, guys. I'm going home.
What do you think, Thomas? Shall we have you stay here with Sir Harold?
Yeah, better.
Or shall we all go home?
We should try to stay a little bit and then go back later. See if there's a chance to, help be more a little more friendly, and then go back home.
Jack, I believe what gracious Sir Harold was saying was send myself and him back while you all stay here to build relations.
Yeah, because
Indeed, with Finnan's skills in the wild woodlands, I'm certain that he can get us there quicker. Find a shortcut to get us there and back again.
Yeah. Or at least
Lord Hoster.
Yes.
Could we send a raven to my brother?
Of course. If you would like, I forget who the Maester of Riverrun is, but he would tell you that you could easily go speak with him and get what you needed done.
Oh, that settles that.
Then we will spend time here and aid where we can, and get to know hopefully future allies.
All right, so he sends one of the servants to fetch the steward, who he then tells to go and make your all's rooms in the inn available. Who's going to send the raven?
I'll go to the Maester and do that.
Okay, so you go up and have a chat with the Maester, and he writes down everything. Are you going to write it out, or are you going to let the maester write it out?
I'll sign it.
Okay. So essentially, he just writes back that Lord Hostertale sends his regards, and so Lord Hoster and Lord Edmure send their regards, and before they agree to any kind of official alliance, they would like to come and meet the family and just kind of weigh everything out and speak in actual person. And then you sign your name to the bottom, and he attaches it to a raven, and off it flies.
Yeah, I'll even put the ink stamp thing they do on it.
Your
Or
seal.
the
Your seal.
of Peak.
Yep.
Yeah, the Peak seal.
Yep.
But
All right.
my seal will be like add to it, sort of. You know how
Right.
some of the knights have their own additional seal.
Yeah, I'm sure you've probably tweaked yours here and there over the years, so it doesn't look exactly like your brother's.
Yeah. So then he knows it's my seal specifically.
Yep. And then if you stay and watch the bird, you can see it for about a good 20 to 30 minutes as it gets smaller and smaller into the distance before it just vanishes into the sky.
Yeah. And then I'll go seek out a lady to flirt with.
Okay, so you go find your you go find a random servant, because that's literally the only thing you're really going to find in the castle, unless you go out into the town, in which case you might find you a peasant. All right, Harold.
Mm.
What's everybody else doing while he's sending the raven?
Well, we have about 3 weeks. See what we can do to help out around here. I mean, we don't really have anything else to do at the moment.
Yeah.
Lord Hoster doesn't mention needing anything, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't potentially use you at some point while you're here. But as of right now, he has no need for any messengers or anything like that, or anything being done. Edmure would definitely have a nice long chat with anyone who has been to war or been in battle.
That excludes me.
He himself has never been, but he expresses interest in the thought.
I could communicate. I could speak to him and tell him that no one should wish to experience it firsthand. It's bloody, yes, glory as well, but more often than not, it leaves you with more scars than cannot be seen on your skin.
Mm.
He affirms
Second opinion.
he affirms that his curiosity is mainly that, just curiosity, because he's never been to war. But he thanks you for your time.
You should thank the fates. You should thank the gods that you have not experienced such a thing as war.
Mm-hmm.
Finnan will.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Try and keep it that way.
That's my hopes, he says. But if war should break out any time, he is more than ready. Welcome back. You want to add your expertise on war to the stories they're telling Edmure, who's curious about it? Sir Harold?
It's a bloody affair.
Yeah.
Certainly not the most pleasant of situations to be in and thick of,
Yeah.
though it is a necessity at times.
Yeah, I know both Jackson and Finnan were like, don't go there unless you have to.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment.
Yep. Not the most.
I also told him to thank the gods that he has not experienced it yet.
Yep.
And seek their blessing that you find that you don't in the future.
I'd like to spend the. Sorry, continue.
Once you experience war, you're never the same as before you walked into it.
Nope.
True, you can speak much about what you may do in the heat of battle, but until you experience it, uh, it's certainly a different thing. The first life of another that you take will change you.
Yes,
I mean,
he would tell you that he has heard of the many unjust atrocities that war can bring, and that he doesn't know quite how he would feel having to make some of those decisions, but he's happy to
as
learn.
someone who has led armies into battle, I can tell you some of those decisions change you.
Yes. But
Because
after about an hour's conversation with them, for those that stuck around and went in and did this and this and this, Edmure will have to relieve himself and go attend to other matters.
it was nice chatting with you, Lord Edmure.
And you.
During
Go ahead.
during the 3 weeks, I would help out the peasants where I can if they're any are struggling for food by going out and hunting, even though it might be considered poaching at this point in the area around.
As long as you okayed it with Hoster or the steward, I don't foresee there being an issue.
I mean, I'd ask if I can hunt their lands to see what game this place offers.
Yeah, Hoster would tell you
I'd
there's no
ask,
problem.
I'd ask Lord Hoster and Lord Edmure and the steward if I can help with training peasants just in sword fighting, as well as test their men
But
using wooden swords.
Yeah, they
I
don't
was
they don't have an issue with that.
I would spend the 3 weeks between hunting and helping out the peasants, gambling slightly at some of the inns, and brothel or two.
Okay. And what are you going to be doing while you're spending the 3 weeks, Chet? Or Harold, I should say?
Yeah, I'd probably partake of a brothel more than twice.
The brothel? Really?
Yeah, Jackson's likely gonna go to the brothel a few times.
Okay.
That's the Harold is.
Bunch of horn dogs in this party.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Jackson is likely also going to lose himself into his cups at night as the night hits, and flirt with the hottest of the peasant women that he trains, and or just go to a brothel and get the hottest there.
Okay.
For the 3 weeks, would you just like one track and one hunt roll then to see what I
Yeah.
bag and okay.
Yep.
Any bonus dice or
Uh,
difficulty dice?
What roles would you like us to do?
As far as the hunting, I'm not going to add any bonus dice or penalty dice because a lot of it's moderately similar to what you already know.
Okay. 22 for the track.
All right. So yeah, you managed to bag a few deer and a few.
And then the hunt
Birds.
is 18. So
Yep. So in total, over the course of the 3 weeks, 12, managed to bag 3 deer and 6 pheasants.
okay. I'll take a small cut of the deer, like just enough to like sustain me for about a week, and then I'll give the rest away to the more in need peasant families.
Okay. Okay.
Aside from my few trips to the brothel, I spend time getting to know any of the other knights that may be here, introducing myself and just getting to know the people in general. And then I'll ask if I can peruse the library at Riverrun.
Yeah. As far as that
Oh,
goes,
okay.
you are given moderately free run of Riverrun. You're able to go into the library and stuff like that. You do see the blackfish.
Look at you, big man can read kind of deal, huh?
Mhm.
If you wanted to speak to Sir Brendan Tully.
I will acknowledge him,
Mhm.
and if he engages during that time, then I will definitely have conversation. But if he chooses not to engage with me, then I won't engage with him.
He catches you a couple of times and just reminisces about the trident, but aside from that, he doesn't spend too much time with you, I guess you could say. Like, it's more he's gauging you all for those that he speaks to.
I tell him about my first kill at the Trident.
Yep.
Um,
And how you saved the Lord, huh?
saved the Lord's son.
Yep. Who isn't the oldest son is not here, so.
Yeah.
But after the 3 weeks ends, you can tell.
Would I
that-
have to do any rolls
No, I'm not gonna make
at
you
all?
do.
Maybe?
Not for the training or anything like that. If you're gonna be wanting to go in deep with anybody, communication wise, you would roll me for that. But even that's just mainly gonna be a charm for your winches.
So just charm check.
Yep.
Because 3 weeks did pass, and we had 15 weeks built up, 15 days already built up. That would be another house fortune roll for whoever has the highest stewardship.
Me, let's go.
15.
I know it's Lord Jackson because he's about being status, right?
So that's a net total of 18.
That's no, that's a charm roll. That wasn't the stewardship roll.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I see that now.
Does anyone actually have stewardship or?
Yeah, I think Obsidian has it.
So,
Good. I was just checking.
we
Bonus dice, yes.
we can tell what Jackson poured all his time and effort into.
But Obsidian, it would be your roll of the
So yeah,
stewardship.
Jackson, you managed
I
to live
could
quite
use
the
my
trail
rep
of broken hearts.
with the steward. I got a pretty good status as well. But that's actually a good roll.
10, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
what he rolled.
Increases by 3. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. Decline. So
Now, can't we modify that roll by 3? Isn't that what that does? Is we can choose
yes,
to go
we
up
can
or
choose.
down?
Yes, we can choose to go up or down by 3. So here's the issue with that. Either way, it's a decline.
You do receive word back from your brother about midway through the second week that you all are in Riverrun, that basically him agreeing to everything for the Tullys to come on over and get to know everybody, and he's going to host a small, basically localized tournament in the area in honor of their visit. You
Okay.
also find out that the mine has expanded 3 new shafts.
Okay, does that increase
What
our
kind
wealth
of tournament?
by?
What'd you say, Jason?
Is that gonna increase our wealth by the amount of shafts it increased?
Yep. Because they were able to find more than just iron at this point. They've also
Okay.
managed to luck out and struck a silver and gold vein as well.
Nice.
Mhm.
So I would also recommend us taking possibly the. Well, actually, we're in a decline now, so our wealth increased by 3, and he's gonna host a tournament.
Yep.
Which is more than good.
Yep.
We're in a decline, and then you said it takes a month to travel back, so it'd be one more stewardship roll.
Yep.
For the travel back, if you would like to roll that as well.
Yep. You can definitely tell there's a difference in the health of Lord Hoster from the time you all arrived to the time you all are getting ready to depart. He seems to be in higher spirits and have more color.
Okay. Our
Sure.
wealth did go up by a class. We are now, our family has enough to get by. We are the commonwealth of a noble family. One more
Yay!
stewardship roll for us, please. Obstian. If you are here. If not, I'm sure someone could roll on his sheet for us.
Yeah, give me a second.
$12. So that puts us at a boon. We can increase it by 3 to a growth or decrease it by 3 to a curse. I would say we leave it at a boon.
Increase it.
If we increase it, we go to a growth instead of a boon.
They'll take the boon, I guess. The boon should be a better option anyway.
So what?
My vote would be on boon.
So what does the
Alright,
boon
we'll
do?
go boon.
It is up to you, or we could. I think boon exists pre-existing in the house history.
Mhm.
I'll check if it exists in the house history, and we can use that.
Okay.
Boon does not exist in house history.
Okay.
The
So-
closest would be favor or glory, I would assume. But it is up to you exactly on what happens. Favor would be a d6 increased influence, a d6 increased land, a d6 increased law, and a d6 increased power. Glory is a d6 defense, d6
Oh, yeah.
influence, d6 law, d6 power.
Or could it be windfall?
It could be windfall. Let me read what a windfall is. I think windfall might be described as... Yeah, windfall is a boon. A blessing that catapults your family into fame or infamy.
All right.
Which would be a d6 to defense, 2d6 influence, a d6 land, a d6 law, a d6 population, 2d6 power, and 2d6 wealth.
So we'll say windfall.
Okay.
There's
That's
reason
6
for it.
rolls. We also got a decline, so we can decrease it to a 1d6, which is a minus d6 influence, minus d6 lands, minus d6 power, and minus d6 wealth. So I say we start with the decline and then the wealth, and then the windfall. So whoever wants to roll for what? Go right ahead. What are you rolling for? And,
Whichever one was first.
okay, we lost 5 influence.
Okay.
Let me just get the other sheet open real quick so I can keep a running tally. Okay,
Yep.
next.
What
4.
do we decline
So,
next? After
4
that one.
lands. It was, we're doing decline first, and then we're gonna do it. If anyone else wants to roll the next
So
2,
it's just
3.
it's 1d6.
Yep. And then 1 more d6 is needed. A 5. Okay. Now we go into d6. This is a bonus. 5 to our defenses.
Nice.
Next person needs to roll 2d6.
So
Harold's on it.
Yep.
$11. That's
Mm.
nice.
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 That's a net total of +6 or influence.
So you basically got everything back and then some.
Yep. So that would then go into the next person needs to roll a d6 for our lands. Higher than a 4. A 4 or higher would be nice. 6. That's a net total of
Nice.
2.
Nice.
Next person will be rolling d6 as well. I'll go ahead. Okay. Beat me, or Jack, if you want to roll it. You haven't rolled yet. 2. So our law increases by 2.
Nice.
Next is another d6, which I got right there. 4. Our population increases by 4. Next is 2d6.
So you pick up 4 new miners.
9. So our
I
power
rolled
is
7.
Yeah, I thought 3 of us
Oh.
rolled at the same time.
Yeah.
we'll do this. We'll leave it in the hands.
We
We'll
got a
leave it in the
7 and
hands of
8 and a
Avix.
9.
We'll leave it in the hands of Avix. Pick 2 of those numbers.
Here, we'll just roll a
We-
D3. This is an order.
Sure. 3.
Ah,
So now
we're going with 9. Yeah, that works. That works for me.
so a net total of 6 to our power, and then one more 2d6, please. Only one person roll this. We'll let Jax roll it because he rolled first the first time and his number didn't get there.
1, 2, 3.
I don't think he's mad about it though.
No.
No, 2d6 for our wealth.
Oh, wait a minute. He rolled a 7, you rolled an 8, and I rolled a 9. There was a theme there.
Yep.
7, 8, 9.
So we just need another one more 2d6.
Go ahead, Jackson.
1 D
2
3.
dice 6.
No, 2d6. No,
1.
You're rolling, 2 die 6, not die 3.
5. Our wealth increases by 2 because we had gotten a negative 3. So our new wealth is 5. Our new power is 33. Our new population is 24. New law is 27. Lands 26. Our influence is now in the 30s. We are now a 35 influence, and our defense is now a 40.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so you
I
were...
would recommend with our. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
David. I would recommend we spend some of that possibly, like while we have the time. 9 plus 10 plus 4.
I'd say a lot of it will go into preparation for the tourney.
Yeah.
So we have 7 power floating. We could increase our cavalry into elite instead of veteran while we're away.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you wanted to increase some of your green people.
We can also do that. So with that, I personally would recommend increasing our cavalry to elite. But that would just cost 2 of our new power.
Okay.
So that's
So if we
that would
if we
leave you
did
5
2,
to play with.
Yeah, that'd leave us with 5 to play with.
and then can we increase the green? Or bring in more
Yeah,
troops?
we can
More
increase.
green troops.
We could increase both the green troops to trained, or we could get a new set of green troops.
And right
I
now,
would recommend just
do we
making them. I would either recommend making them trained or holding on to it to eventually get a banner house.
Yeah, because if we're gonna upgrade the cavalry to elite as well, then we've got the elite garrison, the elite cavalry. I don't think we really need to worry about upgrading the archers or the support at this time.
No.
all right.
So what don't we have in our army?
Ballistae.
We don't have any siege equipment or sailors, but we're not a coastal thing, so.
We could spend the 10 defense on starting additional construction to upgrade to a castle instead of a small castle.
Yeah.
Or we could build a tower elsewhere on our lands.
Or we could eventually hold on to it and eventually get up another 10 and get a superior castle, or we could just start doing a castle at this time.
Or you've also got to think they will be arriving in the middle of construction.
Yeah, so I think we just hold on to it for now until after all this is done.
All right.
Yeah.
And then where do we got floating on the...
Our influence went up to a 35, so let me scroll down. That means our lord is now regarded in higher status.
Nice.
Said we're 35.
It really means
It's
we're
21
all
to 40
regarded in
is...
higher stats.
21 to 40 is a 4.
Oh, 21 to 40 is 4, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
we
what
still
does
the same
Cal
status,
give us?
but now I believe we're regarded as our influence is 35. We're now regarded as a minor house instead of a small minor house.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
So we're equivalent to House Mormont
Yep.
in status.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's really good.
And House Royce.
So the reputation for the house would be would be better
Yep.
received
So when
with
you
that ones, and our reputations would spread further.
Mhm.
We have 2 floating in our lands, so 2 floating.
And we have 5 in our wealth, which if we hold out for another 5, we could add another mine, a marketplace, a meister,
Mhm.
or another artisan
Yep.
with 10 wealth.
Yep. So that being said, once we're done with the house, we'll go ahead and move you
If
all
we
on the way
go,
back home.
if we go Meister, we could just give that to Viserys,
Yep.
and then
Our
Viserys would be like a fully trained Meister.
Yep.
We now have a population of of higher, so now we have +1 house fortune from population. So now we're at a net 4 or -4 of our choice.
So somebody had a couple of babies, and you picked up a couple of new miners.
We know who to blame for that.
Yeah, Sir Harold and me.
Yep.
Well, this would have happened while you all were away, so.
It's a good thing they're not asking for money.
Yeah, but the thing is, we sleep with a lot of peasants and prostitutes.
Yeah. Just a few.
Yeah, so we likely did that when we were there with the Arons as well, in the area, in the
Yep.
town below it.
I could
We
hear.
likely went down there and slept with a few there.
Possibly.
Anyways, our house is doing better.
Nice.
And left them with some bubs.
Mhm.
But you said we're doing a local tournament, correct?
Yeah.
So
So,
it costs us 2 wealth, so we'll go down to +3 wealth, and the prize is 2 wealth.
okay.
But the prize can be substituted as the hand of a lesser daughter, if desired.
Potentially. We'll see.
We draw up to a maximum of 100 knights from the lands around us, and hedge knights in the area. We feature a joust, a grand melee, and an archery contest. Each additional contest beyond joust requires a loss of each additional after those 3 require an additional wealth.
Yeah, no, he's not going to extend beyond that because he don't want to break himself in doing this.
Mm.
So that's going to cost
Um,
2 wealth. So we'll be
I'll
down
jump
to.
in the melee. I'll enter the melee and the joust.
I'll just be entering the archery contest.
Yep. Oh, you're not going to go into everything this time, huh?
I can't fight with a blade.
I'll enter the melee and the joust.
I
Some of
guess
those
Annette will
things-
enter as well.
I will just bet on one of them and then just watch.
So after your 3 weeks in Riverrun, you all meet back up with the Tullys again. I mean, you saw them briefly throughout your stay here and there, had dinner with them a few times, things like that, I'm sure. But the day comes for departure, and you all leave at the head of the procession.
So who's gonna
Like another
be
orientation.
who's invited to the tourney?
As far as
Just
that, as far as that goes, you won't fully know who all is going to be coming until you all actually get back home. When you,
Alright.
which
It says just up to 100 knights from the area.
Because knowing Jackson, he'll wanna
So it could be a good chunk of people
fight
from
for
the
the
cavalry.
hand of a lady. One
Yeah.
of the ladies, noble ladies.
Well, so the prize of the hand of a lesser daughter would be the Lord's lesser daughter. So it'd be the prize of like one of his younger daughters.
so a 9-year-old or a 3-year-old.
I didn't do that.
They're one of my nieces.
Yeah, roughly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
No.
roughly.
Jackson will go seek out the one he dedicates his performance to from the crowd. Part of his showmanship, which is what they do.
Because you
As well.
have The fourth born child, which was Lord Oliver Peake, from his second wife, Lady Paulina, who is 9, Lady Catrice, who is 6, and then Lord Aldrich, who is 3.
Yeah, but he's not going to exactly win the hand of someone in his family.
No.
We're not the.
But yeah, so you all, the trip back is
Or the Targaryens.
largely uneventful. You camp out at night. You pass through the end of the crossroads, but you don't stay there this time. And then you all arrive back home. When you arrive home, you can definitely tell things are well underway getting the tournament started. Lord Royce has arrived to take part in the tourney, as well as a couple of other Knights of the Vale. There are about 5 hedge knights and a few wandering knights. In total, there's about 15 knights, a handful of peasants that are going to compete in the archery, and then, of course, the melee.
Nice. Which
Nice.
houses have come to watch?
Which houses? House Royce. Was Sunderly in the Vale or no? I want to say they were the Riverlands, but I could be wrong.
They're the Lord of the Three Sisters, the Sunderland. They are of the Vale.
Okay, so yeah, House Sunderly sends a couple of knights. House Royce sends Sir Royce. The rest of them aren't named, other than the ones from Riverrun, which is basically Lord Edmure and Lord Hoster, and what knights they had. The Blackfish does come along, but he's not going to partake. He's mainly there to protect his brother. Kind of like you. The Lord welcomes everybody in, breaks bread with everybody, and gives them wine and salt and all that good stuff, so that everything's covered by house guest rate. And that.
Which ladies are present within the crowd for the tourney?
Lord Royce.
Are not in the House Peake.
Yeah, Lord Royce brought one of his nieces.
How old?
She's 18. There are a couple of others. I believe Lord Sunderly brought his. I'm not sure if he had a daughter or not, but he would have brought another niece, if not. And those would be the only ones you really see besides the ladies of your house.
Among them, who's the hottest, and what do they look like?
Of the
Of House Sunderly and House Royce.
We'll say the niece of Royce is auburn-haired with steel gray eyes.
Jackson will give her.
And she's very comely for an 18-year-old.
Jackson will grab some roses and give her some roses and dedicate his performance to her.
Okay. The other one,
basically,
the other one is also 18, but she's blonde with green eyes.
Yeah, so he basically picked her to be the one he wants to win the hand in marriage if he wins.
You want to marry into a great house. Lord Royce watches you, but doesn't stop you.
Oh, he should know my reputation. I have fought with him.
Yes.
And
and you've spoken with him when you were at the Eyrie.
Yeah, I think we'll mutually respectful to each other.
As these people are like toying for like the hands of other ladies, I'm just gonna spend time making sure my arrows are properly fletched for the tournament, and my bow is properly stringed.
Nice. But that brings you back to home. The tournament does not start for another 3 days.
That's fine.
You can tell
Of
that
course.
you can tell that
before I
things
go.
have. Go ahead.
Yeah. With the roses and that, of course, they'd also try and get Sir Royce's blessing before the tournament. Just in case they win. Which would be a boon for him, because then he'd be able to call on a paragon within the Seven Kingdoms. It would be his nephew-in-law.
Roll me a status check first.
Can I use reputation?
Yes.
Remember too, he does already have the youngest, well, not quite youngest, but the oldest son from the second wife as his squire.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm allowing the reputation instead of the status. I'm just waiting on the roll.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you sit there
It should have
and
been 4 dice.
huh?
It should have been 4 dice. That's good. Still good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you spend a couple of days watching Lord Royce, or at least the first. I'm assuming the first day and a half, trying to find a time, engage his character enough to know when you can approach him.
Yeah.
And then you approach him to discuss the matter of potentially getting his niece as your wife.
Yeah.
So now I want you to roll me a. Would this classify as charm or bargain? Or convince?
Is it an intrigue?
You could use the intrigue system, or you could even be using what is it? I think status breeding might fall under this.
Where's intrigue?
Yeah, status breeding.
Would it be status breeding? I'm not sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not seeing intrigue, so.
Status
If you
breeding.
read breeding, it's to do with courtship.
Represents the knowledge and procedures of formal etiquette and expected behavior when interacting with others of similar higher status.
All right, so roll me a breeding then. That just sounds so wrong.
It does.
He's been doing that quite a lot, trust me.
All right, so
And he's very good at it too. Look.
1d.
Aye.
Damn, how'd you roll the age difference between the two?
No, I didn't roll an age difference.
I'm joking. Jack is 28 versus his niece is 18.
That's funny. All right, so if you win, he'll consider it.
Alright. That's fair. I'm happy with that.
So you might have your wife.
Yeah.
And a small keep in the Vale.
Yeah.
Because essentially the way I'm playing it up is she's the only daughter of a lesser Lord of House Royce.
Yeah. Or it just adds more to us so that we can add that in our lands. Just expand there.
Yep.
Just expanding.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what's everybody else doing besides trying to pick them up a girlfriend?
I don't think I have enough money, but I should maybe get Annette maybe some full plate or something if I can. She's gonna participate.
Yeah,
I'm just
the
gonna
issue
bet
is
5 gold on somebody of my team.
the issue is which she probably wouldn't even be allowed to compete because she is female.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
She is of the gentler sex, as people would say.
Depends. Where's she from?
She's from the Vale.
If she's from
Better
around
at
here,
combat and all that.
if she had have made a net from Dawn,
No,
No,
she's from the Vale.
she's from the
Then-
Fingers. She's
then
related
she
to
would
Peter
have.
Baelish.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you had like, say, the Red Vipers, one of the Red Vipers' relatives or something, or even someone from House Stain, and she joined our house, then she would be allowed to compete because Dornish women are warriors.
Yeah, no, she's strictly from the Vale.
But in the
No,
Vale, she wouldn't be a
Role of
warrior.
Menon.
In the
But there's
Vale,
no
she wouldn't be a knight or a warrior.
I mean, unless she does what Brienne of Tarth does.
Yeah, she's a warrior. She's just not a knight.
Right.
Yeah.
Brienne was the exception.
I mean, if you want to argue with her about whether she could fight or not, she'll knock you upside the head.
See,
But
Brienne
she's not a knight, so yeah, I guess she won't be able to compete then. That's fine.
got accepted by Jaime and Lady Catelyn. That's the reason people started to accept her. Because more people, when the fact that someone like Jaime, the Kingslayer, and his reputation could accept her as a fighter, others started to. So if Annette's going down that route, it's going to be a very hard one, being related to Littlefinger.
I'm sure she hides that last name well.
Yeah, now that I know about it, she hides it well.
Like, no, I'm not a Baelish.
She's probably taken on the Peake name, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
I just copied and pasted it. It just copied the entire name, which was funny. Now that I know about it,
Yep.
it's like here, an inside joke. Oh, you won't get, but everybody else will, and they'll tell you.
Because Littlefinger's real name is Petire Baelish.
Yeah, I didn't
Peter
know
Baelish.
that.
Yeah, it's Peter.
Mhm.
Peter Baelish. It's spelled with a Y instead of an E at the end. So what? Petyr.
Yep. Some people pronounce it Petire, some people pronounce it Peter, and some people pronounce it somewhere in between, but it's all the same thing.
Mm.
Be back
In
in
the
a second.
show,
I grab a cup of water.
During
In the
the
show, they pronounced it Peter.
Okay.
Even he did.
Okay.
even in during the time before the tournament, I'm just gonna spend time making sure my bow and arrows are ready, and then also just size up the competition for the archery.
Most of the competition you see, besides the knights that are also archers, is about 10 peasants that are adequate.
Mm.
Okay. And then I'll
Now
throw
that-
one gold dragon on myself in the betting.
Okay.
Now that I've courted someone for marriage, I'll focus more on training for the 3 days in private.
Hoster and Edmure are put up in spare rooms within the keep. Everyone else who didn't have a room in the keep, you're sleeping in a tent.
I got mine. I believe.
Congratulations, you've almost brokered a marriage contract. How does it feel?
Very good.
Mostly common in these parts.
Yeah.
I probably do have a room in the keep, to be honest. Being the brother, and I'll need to be close by
Yep.
until I get my own lands.
So you have roughly, I want to say 25-ish knights overall, but only about 10 to 15 of them are actually going to be participating in the Thorny, minus the ones in the party.
That's the reason I'm training in private, so no one, because I'm trying to perfect. I'm trying to give myself some techniques that my men haven't seen or been taught by me.
On the last night before the tournament, who's going to be on sentry duty at all during this time?
Me.
I'm
Hey,
assuming I would get
Ned
put
will
on it
help.
because
Probably
of being
not
master of my.
Jackson and I.
I'd
Yeah,
assume
you're,
Finn gets put on it because he is the scout of the house.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
go ahead and roll me your notice check, Finnan.
you want everybody
Okay.
who's doing security to roll it?
9.
Yeah, anyone who's doing security can go ahead and roll me a notice check.
I do security. I guess I'll try to help.
Roll 11. Roll 11, please,
Well,
to make it funny.
It would also probably be like the garrison. Definitely
Mhm.
would be doing it.
Yeah.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah, no, Thomas, you're too caught up in the festivities of the final night before the tournament. Ant and Jackson, you would be too caught up as well. Finnan and Ant, a lot who are, I'm assuming, outside actually walking the grounds and stuff. You notice that the animals are all acting strangely in the stables and the
outside?
loose ones.
So in our stables?
In your stables as well as throughout the grounds. Almost like something has spooked them.
I'll try to check around for what spooked those animals.
Alright, so...
When I see Fernand going to check the grounds, I'll follow.
Yep.
so
I'm also assuming
Sort
the
out.
garrison would have got a chance to roll awareness.
who did?
The
The garrison?
folks.
Yeah. They would have also...
So they are elite. What would their awareness be? Because it says awareness is one of their skills. It just doesn't give you the definition of what it would. I'm not sure. Unless it does somewhere and I'm just blind as that.
Yeah, I will do this. Because I don't have time to look it up right now.
Yeah, I got you.
Half the garrison notices
The garrison does no longer exist. They thought themselves out of existence.
it.
Oh, when I see Fernand going to check the grounds, I'll send some of the men to go check it out.
Alright, so now...
Yeah, no, and Ned just follows him, see what's up.
Now you'll roll me... I'm trying to figure out if this would be hunt or track. More so.
Probably track. Try to track something down.
Yeah, because essentially you're searching for it more so than anything else.
Mm. And I'll also go with Fernand.
Alright. So...
I'll bring some of the men with me.
It's funny. I rolled both the lowest and the highest I could roll the same roll.
So Annette doesn't really find anything, but Finnan, as you're looking about, you notice tracks of other humans that don't match any of the normal tracks you've seen over the last few days of all the nights and stuff. And they're fresh.
I'll continue to kind of follow the tracks and track them down.
While that's going on, how far away from the castle and keep are you going to get before you decide to circle back?
Until I find the people. Being
Alright.
stealthy about it.
Alright.
If he tells me, I'm going to circle back to let people know something's going on.
I'll be like a sneak as well to see how stealthy I'm being.
I'll
about
also
this,
go
or-
back to the castle.
Okay, so...
Back to the keep.
20 sneak for my stealth on it.
Alright, so...
And my sword will be drawn when I do go back to the castle.
You follow the tracks and they kind of zigzag in and out of various areas, like around the stables, and almost like it's on the edges of the camps and stuff, where they wouldn't necessarily be noticed. And then just as you're about ready to say to hell with it and give up, you come upon a group of about 15 mountain men.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Mm.
I'm assuming I have the drop, like I'm hidden from them and they have no clue where I am.
Yes.
staying as like sneakily as possible, like in underbrush and areas like that where I'm not going to be seen. I'd like to look for the guy who's like the person who looks in charge the most.
We might want to roll for the garrison because some of them are with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Garrison would be with me. Garrison has 100 men in it, so
Yeah. Do we have any scouts in the garrison?
Maybe, I'm not sure. Probably not. They're more or less the town and castle guards. The garrison would be the equivalent of the Brave Companies, the Unsullied, and Brotherhood without banners is the equivalent of how.
Yeah, no, they are not stealthy at all.
Yeah, I'm
You
assuming
rolled a
that's female and stuff. So
12 for that.
Yeah,
I would just try to take a pot shot as like the garrison's approaching and making their clanking sounds at whoever looks like he'd be in charge of the mountain men.
so this dude that you see who seems to be the leader is just shaggy as all hell. Like he's got long hair, you can't really tell the color of it, and a long braided beard, and just covered in animal furs.
Just gonna take a pot shot at him from my like hiding spot.
And off of his back you can see 2 axes gleaming in the darkness.
Okay. To hit bonus or penalty die.
I'll say there's a 1 penalty die for the darkness.
Didn't even get a chance to roll penalty die. I'll just roll a d6 and minus it from that.
Yeah.
So 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, you hit him. Right.
Okay.
Depending on where you were aiming for, you hit your mark.
8 times the degrees of success. So, what was the difficulty of said shot? So I'm not sure the degrees of success that I earned.
The difficulty would have been 18, so quite a bit.
25.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for where degrees of success are. It's been a while.
7.
7 degrees of success.
Okay. Yeah, you just dropped this dude.
7 times 8 is a total of 56 damage.
Nah, yeah.
Remember, maximum degree of success is only 4.
Okay, so 4 times 8 is still 32.
Yeah, either way, you drop this dude. You just see your arrow go right into his neck. And sticking out the other side as he falls to the ground.
Yeah, I'm just gonna then try to reposition to another like hidden spot and get ready to take another shot.
Yep, and then your garrison just bulldozes the rest of them.
Yeah, I'd assume so. Being that they are equivalently as trained as Unsullied are.
You do manage to keep one of them hostage. The rest do not submit. The one who's kept hostage, are any of you all going to interrogate him, or are you just going to kill him? What's going to happen with him?
Interrogation would be charm or intimidation or what?
Intimidation.
Okay, so who's good at that? Because I'm good at charming and bargaining and persuading. Someone is good at intimidating, or should we just...
Interrogation would not be Thomas's strong suit. He's a diplomat.
If you
Go
want
right ahead, Ed.
persuasion, you'd have to pull Ant from wherever he is.
Jackson could do it.
Yeah. Essentially, you would just walk over and start beating him up until he speaks.
Yeah. Well, if he's interrogating him, he'd probably resort to warfare tactics.
Okay.
But he's not there. He went to the castle.
Yep.
The
Oh.
keep.
I mean, this would be once everyone's regathered. You have one mountain man who was captured alive.
Yeah.
The garrison just marks him in and throws him in a cell.
What did the net and Jackson find when they go back to the keep?
When you get back to the keep, you still find everyone mainly doing what they were doing before. Feasting, eating. Gambling. The lords are still at the high table enjoying their dinner.
Is there anyone that looks out of place in any part of the cape?
Roll me a notice.
Because Jackson will look around the whole cape, make sure there's no one that's out of place.
Roll me a notice.
Alright.
You don't notice anybody out of place.
I'll walk over to my brother and I'll whisper in his ear that what Finnan found in the tracks.
He thanks you for the information and tells you to keep the prisoner in his cell until he can make his way down to interrogate him personally.
I didn't know about the prisoner yet, because I was with Finnan when he caught him.
Okay, yeah.
So just the tracks and that there could be someone within the keep.
Well, he thanks you for the information and tells you to keep him posted.
Alright. And I'll keep looking.
Yeah, and then while you're looking, about 20 to 30 minutes later is when the garrison arrives with the mountain man and throws him in the cell.
Alright. I'll then tell Finnan to scout the keep.
Yep.
For any stragglers.
Just nodding his head. Finnan will just
and to get Sir Harold to help.
And you were going to say...
I'll go nudge Sir Harold awake, and then just nodding his head, he'll just go nudge Sir Harold and just go about just doing one final patrol before putting in for the night.
Okay. Yeah, you don't find anything else during the night. Everyone else is everyone you're expecting to see within the castle or out in the grounds, so...
Now that I know there's a prisoner, I'll let my brother know by whispering into his ear about it and ask him if I should proceed with torture.
He would tell you to be careful because he wants to interrogate the man personally himself as well.
I'll make sure I'm very, very careful.
And while you're passing on this information, Lord Huster also leans in and says that he wants to be included in this.
You're more than welcome to join me while I torture this man.
Well,
I whisper into his ear.
He means when your brother comes down, but yes. So at that point, you are free to go down and start speaking with the mountain man. Are you taking any of the party with you for this, or are you just going in there and going to roughhouse him a bit?
I'll bring Thomas.
He just goes past it out.
Thomas needs to learn.
Yep.
And the air.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take both
because
the older...
They need to learn this kind of stuff, and I'm sure my brother would have told me to do that.
Oh yeah, he's like, take who you wish or who you feel needs to be down there, and he'll be down there in about an hour with Lord Huster.
All right. Before I go down there, I'll probably go to I'm sure we've got a table nearby that has nails on them.
Yes.
As in those spike-like nails that you put into people when you torture them.
Yeah.
Back in these days.
Well, remember we can't
and the hammer.
Remember, we got to keep it moderately PG-13 for YouTube and Twitch, but yes, you have what you need.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I'll use, and I'll put it through. I'll put one through his foot to start with. And then ask him, what are your intentions?
Before you even get close to the dude with the nail, he starts screeching. Well, first roll me your intimidate. Or whatever you're going to be using for the skill for scaring this dude.
Would command work?
Command is more commanding troops.
It's war. Okay. What about tactics?
That could potentially work.
Alright. I'll roll tactics.
You're trying to I mean, are you starting an intrigue?
He's more so in starting an intimidation / terror. Not terror, but
That's what I'm
torture.
saying. Like, if he's starting an intrigue,
Mhm.
which is the social combat, then
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's right.
intimidation. That's the first thing he has to do.
Yep.
He has no
Yeah,
choice. He has to intimidate.
Yep.
I'm intimidating.
Ooh.
Yeah, the dude just spits
Hey.
in your face.
Now I'll go with warfare tactic
Okay.
for the torture.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
16.
you essentially start beating up the dude, nail him down real good, and then he finally starts going, mumbling about they had heard there was a wedding, so they wanted to partake. Not every day one can meet a bride.
That seems unlikely. In my opinion.
I'll
Or at least that they had heard something big was going on, so they wanted to
pull out my dirk,
collect a few women.
and with my dirk, I'm going to stick it into his shoulder and slice down to his elbow
Okay.
without killing him.
Okay.
It's been non-fatal. It's just to hurt him.
Yep.
And I'll lean in and I'll whisper into his ear, "You will not harm any of the ladies here, or I'll kill you personally."
I mean, you've kind of already got me tied up here, friend.
He shouldn't have turned up.
But yeah. You slice his arm open, and he's screaming and howling the entire way.
And then I'll look at Thomas and like, patch him up so that your father can have his fun when he comes in. And then I'll walk out. Wiping the blade of my dirk in the prisoner's hair. And then I'll sheathe it and leave.
Okay.
So he's now got blood stains in his hair.
All right. And Thomas, you and your brother are just sitting there having watched all of this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're being told to treat the dude that just admitted to having come to steal your women.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I can try to. Wait, I have 2 healing. Did you say treat him as in healing?
Yeah, this would be a treat injury because he's got
Okay.
a
Who
nail
has
in
the
his
best...
foot and then a gaping hole in his arm.
Okay, who has the best healing? Because it's not me.
I think Annette has like 3 healing.
Go ahead then. I have more than me.
Well, isn't it in the room?
Oh, great.
Because the
Again,
only 3 people I know of in the cell right now were Jackson
Oh,
and
great.
you and your brother.
Okay, so Jackson, how much do you have?
2
I've walked out.
Oh
Jackson
God.
walked out after he told you
You
to
have
heal
3 at
to
least.
patch him up. And he didn't mean patch him up. He just meant patch him up as a means to keep him alive for
Okay, I'll try it then.
when your father turns up. So he doesn't bleed out. He doesn't actually touch.
Yay! That work? Because that is the best you're gonna get from me.
All right, so you think you have him stabilized, but he doesn't die. He's just kind of stuck in place.
Of course, that's it was more. Jackson was going to fetch the maester anyway.
Yeah. Well,
A maester.
he was going to fetch probably
Viserys.
Viserys.
Yeah.
So
Because he just wanted to have one of the boys do something. So he probably also told the heir, but he can't tell the heir what to do really, because he's the heir.
Right. So
But he can tell the other one too.
Yeah. You get him stabilized in time for you to find Viserys and arrive with him.
Yeah.
Your brother still hasn't arrived yet. But
I'll be like, Viserys,
stabilize him.
You are needed in the cells.
Yeah.
Follow me.
So he comes with you, and he'll.
And I'll get him to treat the wounds. It'll make sure he doesn't fully treat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just enough that the wounds don't bleed out too much.
Yeah. So you managed to get some goings on with it anyway.
And then I'll keep Viserys with me when I
Yep. So you
hand a nail to the air.
Yeah.
No,
So
not a nail. I'll hand him a blade and I'll ask him if he believes what the mountain man said.
he would tell you that he knows his father was not quiet with the ravens that were sent out regarding the tournament. But as to how the mountain men would have found out, he's not entirely sure. Unless word took to the street, so to say.
Alright. Then perhaps you'd like to slice parts off him and ask him and interrogate him the way I did.
Not yet, he says.
Okay. Thomas, would you like to take the floor? You've seen how it's done. This is training for both of you.
Yep.
You need to learn this. Not all battles are nice and have rainbows and glory. And it's not all sunshines and rainbows here when you're in battle. So when someone threatens us, this is part of how we deal with it.
Okay.
And it is cruel. But you have to be cruel to learn things.
Okay.
From a man, especially a wildling.
Yeah.
So,
A wildling
which
who has
one of
invaded
you-
your home.
Which one of you wants to learn how to better protect our family?
As you're talking and asking them that, Lord Huster and your brother arrive. Looks like you've made nice work. What have you learned?
Apparently they're here for the wedding. I wanted to get
the
their
attack.
hands on the bride.
Really?
Did they mean they wanted to kidnap the bride? I still don't get that.
They just said they were wanted in on the events.
Yeah, but what?
And
Well-
want maybe get them a few new women.
Yeah, but the way it's phrased, it seems they want the bride. It seems more kidnap than get.
No,
in the-
they want to sully the bride. It's more how they work.
Yep.
Isn't that right, Phil? You filthy wildling. And I'll kick him.
He just grunts. And then, once you inform your brother of everything, he tells you, okay, Lord Hoster and I have some business here. You all are free to attend other matters.
Okay. Would you like me to watch and guard? Make sure he doesn't try to do anything.
Nope, but they do instruct that Viserys is to be left behind.
Okay.
In case a healer is needed before they get the information they intend to get.
Fair enough. Viserys, stay. Boys, come with me.
Yep. And then I guess you take them back on up to feasting and pleasure.
Yeah.
On occasion, you can hear screams, high-pitched screams and yelling coming from the basement, but that's the most you're able to hear.
When that happens, Jackman will put on a very boisterous and loud performance of drunkenness.
I can see it
I
now.
was gonna say, if someone wanted to sing Reigns of Castamere, I do have it downloaded.
Yeah, I was gonna say at those sounds, he starts demanding the bear and the maiden fair be played by the minstrels.
Mm. So like he'll start drinking and shouting in excited mannerisms to try and drown out the screams.
But yeah, so the hall erupts into a boisterous bout of the bear and the maiden fair.
Yeah.
And the wine starts flowing a little more freely. The knights all settle down, and the younger kids are sent to bed. Edmure and your niece seem to be fairly well hitting it off.
Awesome. I'll go to
You can see the two. You can see the two of them.
Lady Roy.
Yeah, you can see your niece and your potential nephew to be laughing it up at the high table. They're the only two presently still there, unless you joined them.
Where's Lady Royce? The one I
She is currently. She is
the one
currently.
I tried to call her.
Yeah, she's currently seated with her uncle and Lord Sunderly.
I'll try and I'll go over and ask for her hand and see if she wants to dance.
Yeah, she'll dance with you.
I'll dance with her, and I'll ask her how she feels about marriage.
Excited at the prospect
Mm-hmm.
of whoever that might be. You can
And
tell.
if I was to say it could be me, what would you say?
That would be the first she's heard of it.
Alright, my arrow.
Would that be fine with you, milady?
She doesn't seem to have any qualms as she continues to dance with you.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't speak her mind on the matter either.
That's fair.
From what you can tell, she seems to be a well-bred, highborn lady.
Yeah.
Minus the fact she doesn't speak her mind. Unless it's demanded of her. She's very demure.
I'll command her to speak. I'll tell her she's allowed to speak her mind in my presence. You are above me in station, considering my house is below yours.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the lord of this house.
She mentions how her father is not the lord of her house either, but has his own keep in the Vale. So she's well aware of what would classify as second-born or anything below the firstborn.
Mm.
And as her father's only child, she's well aware of her station, so...
Yeah. So, in my presence, you can speak your mind.
She thanks you. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a lot to add to that, other than that her main request of any husband would be that he's a good man.
A bear, there was a bear, a bear.
Yep.
Oh, black and brown and covered in hair.
I wouldn't play too much of it.
Come to the fair said he, but I'm a bear. Oh, black and brown and covered in hair.
Alright, I gotta
And
turn
down
Jay
the
off
road
for just a
from here
minute.
to there, three boys are going to the dancing bear. They dance and spun all the way to
I just turned him down like a lot.
I've got to
Yeah,
okay, he just stopped it, so...
I stopped it.
Okay.
I played this at the very beginning.
Now I can't hear him.
Yeah.
So I gotta turn him back up.
Yeah, I did say I wouldn't play too much of that so neither of us get dinged. But
Yeah, that's why I only play 30 seconds of it.
yeah,
Uh,
version, though.
yeah, to be safe.
Well, I'll tell her. Well, if I do happen to be the one, I assure you, I'll make sure I'm a good man for you.
She just smiles, and then you two continue to dance for about another 10 to 15 minutes before she returns to her seat.
Well, before she returns to seat, I'll pull her in close and whisper, and if you do ever feel I'm not being good to you, you do have my permission to slap me for free. And then I'll release her.
She just smiles and giggles a little and then wanders back to her uncle.
And then I'll head back to my friends and start singing the song again. While drinking.
All right. But yeah. So the evening continues on. After a while, you no longer hear any blood-curdling noises coming from downstairs.
When the screams stop, I'll walk over to the heir of the house and Thomas.
Yep.
And I'll pull them aside into one of the empty hallways. If there's any guards there, I'll send them inside to the festivities.
Yep.
Because I'm there, so I'm watching.
Yep.
And I'll say, you see, even your father knows that cruelty I showed you two was required. It's just he has to show more of it. So, tell me, what did you learn?
What did I learn?
Yes.
Well, because I didn't understand what you said just before you said that.
Yeah, he said after experiencing interrogation tactics, how do you feel? What did you learn?
That intimidation can just be as useful, successful if you are good at it, as torturing someone.
However, when you two are running this house and your father's in my stead, you both need to be aware that that's one choice you have to make when something threatens the house. Someone.
No, I have no problem interrogating and intimidating somebody. I was just saying, it's just that I think basically I'm better at persuading somebody, but I can learn how to intimidate, interrogation, and all that.
I mean, persuasion is a very good thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. We all need that. But you just can't learn it as well as you can with torture. Persuasion is just something you have.
Persuading is just pretty words.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And then I'll turn to the heir and ask him the same.
He doesn't say much other than you can tell he's definitely internalizing everything.
In that case, Jackson in his head will be like, that could be a problem.
I mean, you can see on his face that he very much gets the point, and it has brought a point home that he didn't think of. But he seems to be more mulling everything over in his mind, thinking it out, playing out a few different things.
Yeah.
Like taking the entire lesson to heart.
Yeah. Jackson's just hoping it's not something
that he sees as something he wants to do?
Like internalizing it and bottling it up kind of thing.
Oh, no. the way he's taking it is more, I just learned something that important. I need to remember this.
Yeah. Well, that's in that case, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So when he starts realizing, oh, that's what he's doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Like he doesn't seem like he's gonna go off the deep end and become Ares the Second.
You mean what's his name?
The Mad King, yes, Ares the Second.
Nah. Oh, Ramsey. You mean?
Yeah, no, he's no Ramsey.
Because that was Ramsey's specialty, torture.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no. Torture does not seem like it would be his specialty, but it seems to be something he's understands might have to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And what are you doing during all the festivities and torture and screams, Harold?
I moderate my drinking. I enjoy a nice meal, socialize, and then leave early to tend to my horse and my gear for the tourney tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. After Jackson is talking to the boys, he'll slip out. He'll also attend to his gear, his horse, and then he'll start training
All right.
with jousting,
Good, good, good. And you, Finnan?
but privately.
After just sizing up competition, just spends the night sleeping,
All right.
relaxing,
All right.
Hmm.
And that?
After he's done that for probably 5 hours, he'll go to sleep.
And you, Anthor? And Annette?
Anthor is just going to go around talking to all the noble kids he can find, making new friends.
The two you mainly find that would be close to your age are the two girls that were brought by Lord Royce and Lord Sunderly. There are a few younger knights, but they're knights. So unless you're specifically of knighthood or knightly in manner, they're probably not going to have much to do with you other than acknowledge you as a High Lord.
Yeah, I guess he's making two lady friends then.
One of which is already spoken for.
Oh, he's just going so they'll pass information back and forth. Because that's what happens between friends.
Yeah. But that, I believe, will be where we call it this week. So we'll pick up next week with your tournament.
Sounds good.
Good night, then.
I'll notify you all over the next couple of days what your XP gain is and anything else that I need to review and look back on. Hopefully I'll have this video up quicker than the last one.
See you guys later. Peace.
Yeah, have a nice night.
Have a good night, everyone.
later, man.
You too.